What's happening, AJ?
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing. God.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one time, I think it was like second grade or something like that. It was like the teacher was like asking like all these questions, like, "Why does this happen? Why does this happen?" Or like, "Oh, like, why do we know that this?" And my answer for everything was God.
It's a good answer. It's
Well,
it's
yeah,
a
but
good answer to
not
explain
not
anything.
not a great answer in public school. The teacher, I made the teacher immediately uncomfortable, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "We don't talk about God in school," and I was like, "But God makes," and I
You
was
should
like,
have you should have been like, you're going to hell.
"Dude," I mean, I remember doubling down on it and being like, it being, but that's the answer. I like didn't get it, didn't get it at all, and now I know the answer is Satan.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh
just
God.
listen, we got all these new subscribers over the last week. I'm just trying to prune them all out. You know what I mean? It's like who's fit to be here? Who's who's
Only
too
the
much
strong
of a
will
snowflake to
survive.
handle this, AJ? Gonna melt those snowflakes' tears. Okay, I'm just kidding myself. But this is what kind of show today is gonna be. Just
We will
FYI.
feast on the blood of the non-believers.
Ooh,
You know what that's from?
I should, but I do have to admit that I just got turned on a little bit.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
All right, ready to start the show?
Let's go.
Let's go. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Two Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live, 6 p.m. Eastern. There it is. For your viewing pleasure, but we care also very much about those earballs, not just your eyeballs. That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my left, your right, is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday, everybody. I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks.
Yeah.
Just a little less.
God, how egotistical do you have to be to name a whole fucking day after yourself? we say 3 days a week, man.
I don't think I came up with it, or did I? Probably did. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just jokes. It's not an ego thing. Trust me, I don't like myself that much.
which day's Friday?
None of them.
No. Okay.
Okay, maybe Friday.
Oh man, what's up, Noctis with the €1? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued support. Amazing.
Prince Noctis. Prince
Nox
King.
Noctis.
Something Noctis. Now we're talking.
Hey,
I still get
Final
mad
Fantasy,
every time
right?
I see. Yeah, I still get mad every time I see Final Fantasy 15 because, like, when they first showed it in like 2008, I was so excited about it, and then 10 years later, it finally came out and it looked completely different. Had completely different characters. At least it still kind of had like the same battle system a little bit, but yeah, I was so disappointed.
What was it? What was it originally called? Final Fantasy Versus 13 or something like that?
Yeah, which is a weird name.
Yeah.
But it just had a little bit different look and characters to it, and yeah, personal reasons. A lot of personal reasons. I was really attached to it, but
right. And then it came out, and it was and all the characters looked like they were band members from My Chemical Romance, and you were like, "What is with this emo bullshit?"
the boy band,
right?
But hey, we got a great fishing game out of it, and I loved. My favorite thing about Final Fantasy 15 is that fishing game in VR, baby. Pro patch. Let's go. I actually really liked it. I know it was mixed, but I thought right away, even from the main menu, you're like I miss when games don't do this sometimes. Most games I think do it now, but I love it when games the main menu is like a 3D environment and it looks really cool. And Final Fantasy 15 Real Monsters. What was it called? uh,
Monsters of the Deep.
Monsters of the Deep.
Yeah, or maybe it
That
was singular, which would make more sense because there really was only one monster of the deep.
yeah, that had a great menu where you're like underwater and there's a big old fish right in your face. Looked really cool.
Yeah, it was like during the era where we got like 4 fishing games all in the same year, and now we haven't gotten a single one on PSVR2, which is
I know
nonsense.
we need it.
Nonsense. Although Chrome Colossus in the chat says lo-fi is supposed to get fishing. I wonder if they're cyberpunk fish.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down with that.
They've all got like Deus Ex style modifications on them.
light bulb eyes.
Right? Or they're all Simpsons three-eye fish. That's all of them. What have you been up to, man? But we haven't done this since. Oh Jesus, we did this twice last week.
Yeah, no, I've been obviously here a lot. I finally dude, it's been a really actually great week or 2 weeks. Last week, man, I mean, with all the announcements, this summer is the polar opposite of last summer, and I'm loving this so far. Because this time last year, it was like, okay, like it got above 70 degrees, shut it all down. Like all the excitement, all the announcements, all the releases, and like I'm so glad that this is like, at least right now, this is not a thing again. It's in fact the opposite, where it's like, yeah, like gamers like to have stuff to be excited about and look forward to, and that is like crushing it right now because we had a wonderful week of announcements between the State of Play and the Summer Game Fest. Some cool stuff that we'll definitely talk about today. And then of course, besides playing, a bunch of these games for review, that we're going to talk about today as well. Some first impressions on Zombie Army VR. Finally get to talk about that. Played Hitman. Dude, Hitman is awesome. And I had a lot of fun with what was the Summer Games Fest is the Jeff Keighley show, right? Yes.
Yeah.
They announced 007 First Light, Last Light. I don't remember what it's called. I'm mixing it with like a infamous DLC, but
yeah, First Light.
But yeah, man, I played the hell out of that update. There's a Casino Royale inspired, level and cameo from Mads Mikkelsen, who played Le Chiffre, which somebody got onto me for calling him Le Chiffre. I was mixing my Spanish with French or something, or whatever, okay. Belgium. I don't know.
Sure.
But no, it was super fun. I live streamed the whole thing. But this update was awesome, man. It not only added this new DLC, it took 14 levels that were not previously playable in VR, missions, I should say, and made them now playable in VR. So on top of that, there was also quality of life features. So dude, like IO is crushing it. Like they are really working on this game and taking it seriously in the background and just bringing more content to us. This is awesome. This is like some of the best stuff we can be getting right now. So this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been very almost expected of them to drop this on the PlayStation Store and get their $10 upgrade fee and say, listen, it's good enough. It's still one of the best VR games you guys have ever played, right? With more content than most VR games that you've got your hands on. And then like, it's good enough. It's good enough, but almost since day one, they've been updating it and adding, just listening to player feedback. And that was a big part of the whole updates, was saying, hey, like we've been listening to you. Thank you so much for your feedback. And based on your feedback, here's a bunch of updates. And then on top of that, a bunch of new levels to play, which I feel like the fact that they, again, weren't just content to make it really good. They're trying to perfect everything. For some reason that makes me feel like that they really care about VR. Is they're not just doing this out of some kind of obligation, that they really want to do this, that they really think this is the best way the game can be played. And that gives me hope for their James Bond game. I really do think that because of the way they're treating Hitman, that getting a VR version of Bond eventually, not day one or anything like that, but is likely in the future at some point.
Well, it's definitely more likely, especially if it uses the same engine, which I'm not exactly sure if it does. I think they use Glacier Engine, or that might be the debut of Glacier Engine, I believe. I'm not
Yep.
entirely sure. But yeah, I certainly hope to see. I mean, how cool and big would that be to have a actual 007 game in VR? That is just like would be so awesome. But in the meantime, like Hitman is the best 007 game that currently exists. So pretty much maybe GoldenEye has something to say about that. Um yeah, man, it would be really cool for them to kind of we've seen, studios like this, they use that knowledge, that experience with VR, and they use it to implement it in the next game, like from
Light
Resident
no
Evil
fire.
7 to Resident Evil Village.
Hmm.
Um and how much of an improvement that was. So yeah, it's really good VR experience for them, and major kudos for just making such a quality update. And yeah, the new levels, if you don't know, like you got to get the update and go try out these new levels, because there are some awesome scenarios and everything. And they reuse some of the same levels, but they can be drastically different. Like Sapienza, which is like this quiet, peaceful, sunny Italian town or city, it on one of these new DLCs called the Icon, it's at night and it's literally like filming like a superhero set. And I got to check out that one as well. They're filming some kind of like Iron Man ripoff thing. And yeah, you can kind of like use the set to eliminate the target and in different ways, in like, accidents or whatever. And um dude, it is so good. It is so much fun. There's also a sniper level uh that you're basically just up in a, like, everyone was telling me, oh, you got to go try the sniper level. It's the third level in the Patient Zero update, which is now playable in VR. And
Woo!
they've got you in a bird's nest, and they're communicating to you like, they're like, this is some zombie up or some virus outbreak thing. You got to take out the infected, wait for us to tell you like which one it is. So you're like waiting for they're giving you like clues as to who it is, and you got to snipe the targets, and you got to choose the right ones or whatever. So some really awesome like new variety of content as well, in addition to just having like more. But man, what an amazing game Hitman is on PSVR 2.
Awesome Tatum says Quantum of Solace is an underrated Wii game. It uses the zapper. Put that in VR. I Thanks for being on topic, man. Really
Not an
appreciate
underrated movie though.
it. Listen, I got to say about with Hitman and Ghost of Tabor, man, this all relates to what we were just talking about prior, being June being just absolutely littered with all sorts of new PSVR2 releases. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle right now because you're like, oh, have you played Hitman yet? I was like, no, I haven't had time. I'm working on a Zombie Army review. I'm working on Undead Citadel review. I'm working on a Badminton VR time review. I mean, like, laugh if you want, but these are all new games coming out. I'm trying to stay on top of them, and so I am looking forward to an implied summer lull at some point, like is July or August is be when things start slowing down. I'm looking forward to those because Ghost of Tabor and Hitman are going to take me weeks to play and capture enough footage and feel as though I'm confident in my own opinions to get a review out there. There's going to be massive reviews to take down, so I'm looking forward to getting through this kind of really busy time so I can circle back and take care of these games that got past us. So
I
it
really
is great,
think
man.
I think I know you're a little backed up with like reviews right now, but I think once you eventually get around to Hitman and you really have like ample time to get into it and kind of understand the mechanics and see some of the things that it has to offer, I think you'll be really, really blown away with it, actually.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, listen, I was blown away with it at launch,
Yeah.
and just being like, it's beautiful, and the amount of the ways you can do everything, like it is just the delivering on the promise of an actual sandbox game in VR. A lot of games call themselves that, and it's like, oh, it was a sandbox game. Nah, this not to the degree that Hitman is. Hitman is AAA sandbox, but in VR, which is pretty good stuff. Speaking of AAA, AJ, remember, guys, if you want to leave a viewer takeover question, head on over to our Discord. Click the link in the description below. You can always leave us viewer takeover questions, a viewer takeover channel, just like Snafu. did. Writes hashtag viewer takeover. Yo guys, yo Snafu, what's up? Because since Reach VR got announced, is being labeled a AAA VR title. What do you guys think this means this go around? AAA budget, AAA complexity, what we take for granted with flat games, or is AAA just a marketing ploy? In case anybody missed it, over on the Future Game Show, I put out a breaking news report about this on Saturday, I believe. So
I uploaded the trailer too, so hopefully you caught it between somewhere.
You put a whole lot of work into that, huh? You just re-uploaded the trailer. Yeah,
does it? Just nothing but the pure a trailer.
Here, if anybody missed it, this is End Dreams. End Dreams
Which
game.
Was surprisingly hard to see, Brian.
Oh my god, dude! Watching, so we knew this was coming. We had, we were NDA'd on this, and which was great. I so love when developers care enough to let us in on the secrets and give us ample time to put together a breaking news video so that we can cover the news properly. Otherwise, we just kind of shove it into GAMESCAST like this, and this is the only way we get a chance to talk about it, because otherwise it's just too much time and effort to make a breaking news report about everything. So it was great that we had this ready to go, but we were watching it live on Games Radar's Future Game Show. And they were having all sorts of technical issues, like throughout the entire show. It was jumping ahead, then it was jumping back, and it was just like we had no idea what was happening. And it really, I feel bad for any developer whose game was revealed in that showcase, because it was just a mess. It was a mess, and I really feel like this was, each reveal was this game's turn to shine. Be like, hey, we're being debuted to the world right now in front of everybody. And then it would jump ahead and you'd be seeing a different game. Then it, like 2 minutes later, it would jump back and you'd see kind of the end of the game that you were interested in. And then it just, you didn't even know what you were watching half the time. So I feel bad for anybody whose game debuted in this. And so we're patiently waiting for Reach to be revealed. And of course the same shit happened during the Reach reveal. And it was just, I feel bad for End Dreams. I do.
I did a little bit, but I was really... I actually felt really like happy, and might I say a little bit proud that we did upload some stuff so that people could see it. Yeah. This was one time where I was like, man, it was really good for them to, not imagine if watching it on the Future Game Show was the only place that would have aired. So yeah, man, I mean, especially with VR, it's hard enough getting the word out, and gaming in general, like it's very competitive these days, unlike a long time ago. So I was like, yeah, really good on them for, trusting us. And then also just, I was really glad that we were able to kind of be there for them too, when the show kind of had the technical issues that we had everybody covered with tweets and YouTube videos of the trailer and everything. You had more information that we uploaded. So I was really happy that we could have their back in this situation.
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't watched my breaking news video, they gave us about 4 minutes of B-roll to use. And so, if all you've seen is the trailer so far, then you missed out on some really good footage. Did you see the whiteboard stuff where we've seen so many chalkboards and whiteboards and that kind of stuff in VR where you can pick up a marker and write, but they didn't even show that in this. They showed the player running their hands over words that had already been written on the whiteboard and streaking. Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's some next level whiteboarding right there.
Yeah, right. Well, so this is the thing. Okay, we need to make something really, really clear here, because I noticed that, there are some places, mainly here, where it's getting, told as like, this is a AAA game. I just want to make this really, really clear for transparency's sake, and for, just to not really put the devs in an unfair advantage here. But the reason where that came from was that Studio Elevation was formed years ago and with the idea of making AAA games for VR. They have not said that this is a AAA game in terms of marketing or anything. They're not touting this as a AAA game and going around and saying that or anything. So it's not really them that's saying that. It's been us, the content creators, that have been saying that because of the knowing kind of the, history and lead up to this. That being said, looking at this trailer, it looks like a damn AAA game. I mean,
Hold on,
without a doubt.
hold on. Listen, I listen. I agree with you and all that, but I want to let's make sure we're all on the same page. As of January 2024, this is what it says on the End Dreams Studio Elevation website, the official site. I just want to be like, because if for the last 3 years since this studio has been formed, or 4 years, whatever it's been, they've been saying our ambitions are to create AAA VR games. Then it's, then to suddenly say, hey, this team that we created in order to make AAA VR games did not make a AAA VR game. It would be ridiculous. So this is what it says: January 2024, Endream Studio Elevation, growing a remote studio, AAA VR ambitions, and more. This is like kind of the premise of the entire studio as of last year, just over a year ago. They were saying this, and so for them, and it is very, very interesting for them to have backed off of that statement, saying, for 3 years saying this is a AAA VR studio. And so it is very interesting for them to put out this trailer, put out a press release, and everything, and not mention the letters AAA at all. Right? It's like, are they backing off of that? Do they understand what AAA means, or think that maybe it's not AAA themselves? Like, that it would be disingenuous to call it that. I feel like it leaves us with a lot of questions rather than answers.
Sort of. I mean, again, yeah, that's what it says on their website. That's what the studio is formed for. But I just want to make sure there's a distinction, a clear distinction between them going, "Oh, this is our AAA game," and then us saying, putting words in their mouth. I don't want to put words in their mouth. Yes, that's what it says on the website for the studio. That's not what they're saying about this game, and that's not even implying that it is or isn't. I'm not even saying that. Because like I said, it looks like of all the actual AAA VR games I've seen, this definitely looks like one. But to me, it's also besides the point. I mean, I just want to talk about the game itself, the trailer, the clues as to what to
by Shuhei motherfucking Yoshida.
Yes.
I mean, listen. If you like VR and you don't smile every single time Shuhei talks about VR, then you have no soul, right? It was seeing Shuhei like hanging out with End Dreams and taking pictures with End Dreams, and then and then announcing, being the person to introduce this game, saying, Synapse is my favorite VR game, and now the studio that made Synapse is here to announce their next big VR game. Here it is. It's Reach. Like, it made me so happy, man. Shuhei makes me so happy, and seeing him introduce this game made me so happy. I fucking love it. This is like the dream team combination. This is the crossover we were hoping for.
Yeah, it is. I mean, dude left Sony, obviously, back in January, and is still out here supporting VR. I mean, and just all that he's done for the VR scene and everything, has done so much, and it is very much appreciated. And yeah, it was definitely a special, heartwarming moment to see him be the one to introduce this. And he's talking about, like, Synapse is his favorite VR game of all time. Yeah, I mean, that dude, obviously he means it. Like, I mean, he really means it and really cares a lot about not only VR, but the gaming industry. And he kind of seems to go against the grain sometimes, just because of what he's passionate about and what he believes in. And that's why he was such a well-respected leader. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, that say how important they are or whatever. This dude just does it and just lives it. And, his legacy will be forever remembered by the community and everything passed on because of the things he's done. But dude, the game though, what did you think about the gameplay itself?
I thought the game looked great. There are elements of a little bit of everything in here. I saw people saying, even in this chat right now, I saw people saying that it reminds them a little bit of Apex Construct, and I think it's because of that whole, like, this like stuff floating and things where they're not supposed to be. It's almost like it's almost like the world, the things, whatever holds the world together has broken apart, and now, like, there's cars floating in the air and things where they shouldn't be, and it has that Apex Construct kind of look to it, and honestly, like with all with everything that they're showing in the trailer, it's everything you'd expect from a VR game. Like the VRAF interactions and the climbing and the scaling and the running and jumping and the platforming and even the full body IK it all looks like it's on point here. And I just really hope it's so interesting, AJ, that the thing I think Dreams is most known for, between Synapse and Fract, is their awesome cover-based shooting, where you grab onto almost any surface and pull yourself in and out of cover. I didn't see that here, and I hope it's here because it's an amazing feeling in VR to be able to do that. But it just feels like there's so much going on here. It feels like there's so much going on, and that potentially they just took everything they could possibly throw into this and made a game out of it.
My only gripe,
impressive. Yeah.
My only gripe with the trailer is that song that they used. I felt like it was a little out of place. I mean, it's like your standard, modern hype trailer music, but it was kind of generic and it kind of took away from. I would have preferred some actual good music and maybe some is this a story driven game? Are there characters narrative driven? Is there to hear some of the voiceovers, things like that? My only gripe, and I'm very picky about music, which is probably part of it. My only gripe was the music. And, but that aside, dude, this looks like one of the, End Dreams definitely has some ambitious games, and history, but this is like one of the most ambitious VR things I think I've seen them ever attempt to do here. It looked, watching the trailer over and over, kind of studying it. The more I started to notice about things from the trailer, I was really getting more and more excited, more impressed with it. Because on the surface level, you can kind of look at it and just be like, oh, it's a bow shooter. And, oh, there's this music and the graphically, yeah, it's like just towns, but it's like, no, if you really analyze it, there's so much more going on with the bow shooting. Leading up to that, they're running and parkouring, and it seems like they've implemented some kind of real action physical kind of parkour system thing here, maybe Stride, where you got to swing your arms. It really seems like they understood the assignment with this trailer, in sort of conveying the gameplay and the immersive features. VR is all about the immersion. Yeah. And if you really analyze everything, and it's not just, oh, they're just running and then shooting a bow. It's no, they're platforming, then they're hopping up in midair. They're taking out the bow and slowing down time. There's different types of arrows to choose from, and they're shooting them. They're throwing a Captain America style shield, that's hitting them or whatever. They're shooting ice blasts or something. That might have been the arrow, actually, an ice arrow with there's so much going on that you have to kind of pay attention to see, even with the progression of the game. There's some stuff where the hands look normal and they're have a pistol and they're running from a tank or a helicopter or something. And then you see this other stuff where there's these special gloves. They've got the more magical powers. So you're kind of already starting to see where this game is going right away from the trailer. And dude, it looks, I have to say, the more I see it, the more impressed I get.
Yeah, for sure. I think you nailed it. They understood the assignment with the trailer. But look, going forward with this, I believe this week we're supposed to see from Jamie Feltham, the VR developer, whatever he's doing, where it's a deeper dive on some of these games. And I really, really hope that we find out some more about how this game works mechanically, right? Because there's a lot of VRAF elements. There's a lot of running and jumping and climbing and scaling. That's stuff you expect from VR games. Bows and arrows, does it all look really good? Yes. But what is the progression system? Are we, is there an inventory system even? What else are we doing other than this crazy action over the top stuff? I kind of want to know what the moment to moment stuff is like, and I feel like they pulled out all the really exciting stuff for a really exciting trailer. But it's I'm now that I'm excited about the game, I need to know more about the game.
Yeah, it's got a lot of elements of different things. I see some blood and truth in there, jumping through the window, running the action. It definitely looks like an action game, that's for sure. The trailer is nonstop action. And Steve Irie says it looks very brown. I kind of thought the same thing at first about the art style. I'm like, what is this? It's like fantasy. It's um like futuristic fantasy. Then there's like some military looking, blood and truth looking, realistic buildings. But like you said, kind of what they're doing with it is what makes it kind of cool to me. It's not yes, these are like normal looking buildings, like realistic looking buildings or whatever,
Mhm.
but they're broken apart in pieces and they're like floating. And so like there's more going on here that's really interesting with the design that I see.
Yeah. Uh, Man, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an action game, but the problem is like if this actually ends up being their AAA game, the game, the what they've been sort of promising for years now, then you can't keep up this level of intensity for 8 hours, right? And so that is why I'm like, oh, there's more to this than meets the eye, and I'm very curious to see what more to this actually means. Bitmappy says Arcane Age was very green. I agree, and that was part of the problem. I wanted different biomes, right? And we're already seeing way more variety in this trailer of Reach than we saw throughout the entire game of Arcane Age. Which again, understandably, right?
Yeah.
This is made with
Well,
a
I
massive
think
budget, and Arcane Age was made with a team of like 3 or 4 people.
yeah, and like you said, dude, I mean, visually the characters and stuff I think look pretty cool. The like big, I don't know, they've got some big like ancient thing that's like chasing you or something that looks pretty cool. And some of the smaller characters.
I just want to rip out this dude's spine. I bet the haptics and adaptive trigger on stuff on this is gonna feel great.
Yeah, it's looking really, really nice. And man, I hope that song's not in the game. I don't think it would be.
Jesus. Oh my God, AJ, you just can't get over some of this stuff. Why is it called
Well,
Max Mustard? Okay.
yeah, but
um,
it's a vibe. It takes me out of it. It's the vibe. It's the immersion. It's the atmosphere. If you're playing a horror game, and I don't know,
there's not enough whores.
I was thinking, what kind of music? Like country? I don't know, country music. I was trying to think of some kind of music that would really like
Bro,
throw
country
off a
music
horror
would
game.
scare the fuck out of me in
I was
horror.
thinking, yeah, that might
These
make it work.
motherfuckers got guns.
Okay,
Um,
okay. If it was Cotton Eye Joe, okay, and you're playing a horror game, it'd be like, yeah, that doesn't go together. Okay, you see where I'm coming from here? The things that just go together.
mhm.
Art major.
More like fart major. Am I right? Anyway, this is really exciting, and actually, it's really interesting. Silver Nexus in the chat says $50 game. Listen, Endreams has not been known to price their games cheap, right? Wasn't Fracked like $30 or $35, and that game was
35.
like 2 hours long, 3 hours long, and then Synapse, which you had to replay 3 times, right? So it's basically a 3 hour game that you had to play 3 times. That was $35. I mean, like, they're not known for cheap games. They're known for quality, right? They are known for absolute quality. What's there is always really, really polished. And now we're talking about a game that could be easily 5 times as long, that took, 4 times as long to make, with a team that's way bigger. I mean, we could be looking at a $60 VR game. My fear, AJ, is that people aren't ready to spend that much money on a VR game. This could be a 10 out of 10 game, and I think sometimes some people out there will go $50 for a VR game, $60 for a VR game. Absolutely not. And it's like,
I think it depends on the game, how many hours it is. If it's a 3 hour game, yeah, people are not going to pay $50,
agreed.
$60 for it.
Yep.
If it's a 8 to 10 hour game or whatever, more people would be more inclined. But yeah, because Wanderer was what, 50?
Yep.
And a lot of people bought Wander, despite being $50 because of
And
just
being
what
broken.
it was. I mean, well, broken aside, was the state of it aside.
Yeah.
I think people are willing to pay it. Stuff like Midnight Walk. I mean, you saw that's a that's a 5-hour game, kind of like really taking your time, and
Mhm.
that's $40, and people saw that and they're waiting. I mean, they're also waiting for the patch, but it didn't chart on the flat screen top 10 either. And
Yeah.
to me, that says that there is a massive audience out there that says, if I have to have at least this certain amount of time of fun to justify paying this much for it, or they'll just wait for a sale.
Demo says I pay $10 for an hour and a half movie, and you don't own it at the end of it. I pay $15. I almost went to the theater last night, to go to see Bring Her Back. I didn't even know that movie existed. Made by the same people who made Talk to Me, and
Oh man,
$15, and then you go home and you don't own anything.
little man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it again.
Flippy Nugget says, "LOL, you're supposed to play through Synapse 3 times. So wait, what happened? You beat it once and then you said, "Oh, turn it off." I didn't roll the credits or nothing. Yeah, you have to play. You literally have to play through it 3 times. Spoilers.
Yeah, and it's more like well, I guess the first time it takes a little bit longer, but it's really only about an hour for each run.
Right, if you can complete it on your first run. But yeah, you're likely going to die a few times. As you it's being a roguelite, you level up and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's probably enough of Reach.
Yes, but before we get to the next thing, speaking of watching stuff, I watched Predator, Killer of Killers. Have you heard of this yet?
No, what's that?
I got a bunch of messages. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everyone
that messaged me talking about this Predator, Killer of Killers.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about this like literally days ago, and it just dropped on Hulu Friday. And it's an animated Predator movie.
Oh, I did hear about this. Was it Tatum was telling us about this?
Maybe. Yeah, he might have been the first one to tell me about it, but I got it from multiple angles because I'm a huge Predator fan. I'm a big fan of the first 2 movies at least. And yeah, man. So everyone's telling me like this is the best thing ever. It's 10 out of 10, best thing since the original Predator. And I'm like always skeptical when I hear that. I'm like, yeah, no, I gotta see it for myself to believe it. And it started out and I was like, yeah, like this, I was like, I'm not sure about this. Well, it didn't take that much longer to be like, absolute. I was glued to the TV watching this thing. And it was amazing. It was probably the best thing since I've seen since like the original or whatever. It's a really unique storytelling, like anthology kind of thing. And it goes into some Predator lore, and dude, it is so gory. I'm not the biggest like fan of gore, like I've always said, and I was like watching this and I'm like, oh, within like 10 seconds, there's like a Viking getting like hacked in half with an axe. And I'm just like, oh, and it like just made me wince a little bit. But, dude, it was so good.
I thought you were going to say it made me come a little.
No, but the show or the movie itself was so fantastic. So I highly recommend checking out Predator, Killer of Killers if you haven't. It was so good.
GameCast, specifically White Tiger with the level 1 membership, says, weird how other VR creators skipping Lumines conversation. It's because they don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Luminous.
Number of comments I have people being like, it's Lumines. And I was like, what?
Lumines.
Mr. Twisted Black was convinced. He was like, it's not pronounced Luminous. You guys are driving me crazy. And then he like legit started up the Vita version. And at the very beginning, there's a robotic voice that goes, Luminous. Like, all right, man, I'm glad you proved yourself wrong. I mean, listen, I'm
correct us.
I'm always wrong about everything. So I was ready to be wrong about that. I've just been like, yeah, I've always called it Luminous. Maybe it's not, but it is. So
Luminous.
Yeah, weird how other creators are skipping the Luminous conversation. It is weird to me because I mean, listen, I don't really watch too many other people. I don't have time, and when I'm not working on the channel, the last thing I want to do is like think about VR or watch other people talk about VR. So I didn't know that other people weren't talking about Luminous Arise, and that's a shame because anybody who played Tetris Effect knows how great this game is going to be. Enhanced Enhanced Games is a studio that I trust fully when it comes to making hybrid VR games. So
Yeah,
looks great.
visually and the music and everything, I think will be really, really great. I don't really know about the gameplay, so I don't know. I know nothing about Lumines gameplay, so I don't know if that's going to be for me or not. But I hope it's at least some kind, like, just engaging enough, and fun enough.
It's so simple, AJ, that it's deceptively simple, right? Because you only have one shape block that you're dropping. It's a 2x2 block, and but they can separate, right? The blocks on the left and the blocks on the right can separate if you drop it on a ledge. And there's only two colors in each stage, and so what you're doing is you're creating blocks of color, and but they don't disappear until this line sweeps across the stage, right? So you're basically creating as many combos as you can, making that big block of color as big as you can, and then the line sweeps across the stage and clears them all out, and then you get this massive combo. And that's, again, when the Tetris effect stuff is going to come into play, you're going to get this massive combo. The particle effects and the visuals are going to go into full effect, and it's going to be awesome. So that deceptively simple thing, it means it takes a little while for the game to get going, just like a regular Tetris game, right? Because it's like, oh, I can spend all day doing this. But then sometimes that clear bar will go really slow or really fast, which will be shocking, like changes the difficulty to a shocking degree. And the two different colors that you see on screen are going to be constantly changing as well. And it will throw you off because you're getting used to like one pattern or one shape or whatever, and then they change to something else. And it's really, again, deceptively simple, but then gets very, very difficult as you get into it. I love it. It's free VR real estate in the chat. Says it's pronounced wishlisted.
Wishlisted.
That's fair. We also got, who else is tipping here? We got
Steve Irie says the niche that say niche.
German philosopher. Belly Bells with the Canadian $5 says, "Hi guys." Hey Belly. Says, after all those announcements, I was wondering if Firesprite's working on a PSVR2 game. I mean, I guess the bet would be unlikely. Yeah.
Gosh, I hope so.
First party VR stuff.
Sony's a mess right now, man.
Yeah.
Like they hired them to do VR, and it sounds like they're not even doing VR right now. So it's weird. I mean, that would be my thought, is that, yeah, like if you purchase them as a VR maker for your company, hopefully they're making something VR, and we just won't hear about it until it's ready to be shown. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They need to get their.
Yeah.
They're still having. This is the first time. I mean, PlayStation has always been known for having great like management and everything for managing several studios at once. Xbox, Microsoft has always been known for like, the disastrous management of studios, things like that. This is the first time in a while that, or maybe ever, that I've seen Sony having management issues with like managing studios, canceling the Last of Us game, the Bungie disaster, like bad acquisitions. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is it's rough, but
I hope so nice to see Shuhei out there still doing stuff, right? Because clearly he's the reason
job for them.
I mean, it's clearly he's the reason that PSVR exists in the first place, right? It seemed like that was his pet project, his passion project. He was the one that revealed it in 2014 at GDC. Right? He's always sort of been there for VR, and now he's still there for VR. And so, it's just like, it's good that he's out there and doing his thing, because it reminds us that, there are people who care, and I just really hope that there's still people at Sony that care.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there are some. If they're still doing, deals to get games like Hitman into VR, and obviously they got that exclusive announcement of Reach and what was the Luminous.
I mean, VR I wouldn't call being on the Future Games Show an exclusive announcement of Reach.
Oh, not Reach. Thief VR. Sorry.
Oh, right. That was in State of Play, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. So is Firesprite working on a PSVR2 game? I'd say unlikely. But Fortunately,
hope
Sony
so.
is showing their support. I know, right? I really hope so, because I love the persistence. And whatever your thoughts are about Horizon, Call of the Mountain, talk about quality. It's like, yeah, too much climbing. Yeah, understandable. But man, quality still. We'll have to wait and see. The Virtual Resistance with the Level 1 membership says, all I need to know is it another roguelite? He's asking about Reach. And if my guess would be no, that would be insane.
No, but I hope it's a narrative driven. Like, I hope it has a good story and characters, because that would just be like the icing on the cake. That's the one thing, even though story and characters, whatnot, it's not really why we play video games, right? It's something that can really help set itself apart from other games when they do have those things.
Yeah, I tend not to care too much about story in video games because video game stories tend to be bad, right? Like historically, there's plenty of great examples of great video game stories out there, and I'm sure the chat's about to name 100 of them. But Brian, you're wrong.
Final Fantasy VII, The Last of Us, Part 1.
Sure,
I haven't played Part 2.
Better than Part 1, story wise. I'm just trying to trigger people. Melt in the snowflakes.
It's working.
Now there's great examples, but they tend to still not be great stories. I would say overwhelmingly they're not great. And so and I think that becomes more apparent in VR, right? Especially when you are the main character. Like first person games, sure, on the flat screen, all right, but like, do you really feel like that main character? No, not really. And so I do feel like VR is still trying to figure out how to deliver a story without making you stand there and like just stand in one place and talk to this character that's talking at you. Right? They still haven't quite figured it out. It's either that or a floating robot companion that talks to you the whole time. So yeah, no, I'd like it to be narrative driven, but I'd like them to figure out how to deliver the narrative in a quality way.
So. Yep. But if it just looks as fun as it is, if it plays as fun as it looks, then it'll be great.
If it plays as fun as it looks. Okay. That I was ready to be like, what the fuck are you saying? But when I broke down that sentence, if it plays as fun as it looks.
I'm a word engineer, Brian.
Anyway.
Oh, really not.
Yeah. AJ, did you see that Apple has officially announced Sense controller support?
What?
Right. Here, let's bring that up real quick here. If anybody missed this, even on the Vision OS
Does this mean
page,
you can finally get PlayStation VR2 controllers from the Apple Store?
it looks, like it's gonna happen. Although I'm scrolling down and the whole page is blank. So, thanks, OBS. You're wonderful as always. It looks like you're gonna be able to buy the Sense controllers from the Apple Store soon enough. They've announced compatibility. This is kind of what we've been waiting for. We've been hearing the rumors for quite a while. And what do you think, AJ? If Apple starts selling Sense controllers separately, do you think that Sony will also then start selling them separately? Or are they just going to be like, just deal with Apple, go over there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I know that a lot more PS5 players and PC players will buy them way more than the Apple Vision Pro people will. Because there's actually a surprising amount of people that do use the Apple Vision Pro, but it's just not, it's like a completely different audience. Like, obviously, we're kind of in our own little spaces, like hardcore gamers, first and foremost. Apple Vision Pro is like, some like fancy kind of tool. I don't even know what the hell that thing does.
You're a fancy tool.
Does it even play games?
Yeah, of course it does. You can
Or
play
does
No
it
Man's
just do,
Sky.
like Excel spreadsheets in VR. You can play No Man's Sky on it?
Yeah, I don't know if you can play in VR. But you can play No Man's Sky on it. Maybe it's just windowed. I don't know. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows what the hell what we're supposed to know. Anyway, yeah, if you scroll far enough down, not
I'm
in
not
OBS
supposed
apparently.
to know anything about Apple Vision Pro, Brian.
It says the whole thing that you see here, it says spatial accessories explore new ways to interact, discover new possibilities with spatial accessories designed to help you create, collaborate, and play in greater dimension and detail. And so it first shows you a stylus and says it's the Logitech Muse. It's a stylus. It says draw and design in 3 dimensions with precision. It says coming soon. And then right next to that is a pair of Sense controllers. It says PlayStation VR2 Sense controller. Experience a new class of games in 6 degrees of freedom with the spatial game controller. And apparently you should be able to click on these when they're available to purchase. I saw World of Long Plays say they're going to charge $200 because it's Apple. I listen, GameStop has been selling them refurbished for like what, $70 or $80 each, the left and right ones separately, and that's refurbished. So you're buying used controllers for $70 to $80 a piece, which is like, okay, so if that's a used set for $150, how much are new ones going to go for? GameStop could have been pulling that price out of their ass. I have no idea, right? I don't know if they had any kind of indicator as to how much they're going to be sold for new. But that's a lot of money for some used Sense controllers, AJ. So I don't know how much they're going to be charging for them new.
They charge $100 for moves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
These are a little bit better than moves.
Markio says, yeah, but the headset's $350. It can't be more than $150. Listen, the console was $500 and they charged $550 for the accessory. Like, you can't charge more for the accessory than the thing itself. They can do whatever the fuck they want, obviously. But yeah,
20.
150 sounds like the right price to me. 150 new, and I think most people would go and buy a second pair immediately just to have them there.
That's the maximum I would pay. The maximum, and that's like pushing it. I wouldn't be in a rush to get a second pair, that's for sure. But I would maybe pay that at a max.
Yeah, I mean, what ideally it'd be great if they were 100 or 125, something like that. But I don't know, man. We're in an era where
like
Sony's
120. Yeah, 125. That I think is a pretty sweet spot price, right?
Yeah. Tybo, the gaming sphinx, says Quest 3 controllers are $70 a piece, and Sense controllers are way nicer. $70 a piece for Quest 3 controllers? These fucking
That's
things?
about as much as like a DualSense was, right? It was like $60-$70
for a DualSense controller? Yeah, $70.
sorry. Oh yeah, DualShock I meant, but yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if DualSense is the same.
I mean, look at this thing. You have one analog stick on it and no haptic, no haptics, no adaptive triggers. This thing's
One analog stick. How many analog sticks is it supposed to have?
Well, combined, 2. Right? But like, what, you get what I'm saying here, AJ? You're getting half of a controller here for $70.
Oh, for one. Okay.
Yeah, you're buying them for $70 a piece, and so yeah, man. If Quest is charging that much for individual controllers, then I could easily see Sony charging more. Good call.
I wonder if they will sell it separately, like actually individual left and right controllers, or just like a package together.
Jesus, we're asking a lot. Like we can't even get them to sell us a set separately. Never mind. Oh, but only my left one's broken. I don't want to buy 2. Fuck it, man. Listen, this is the best. This is the best we're getting. I don't think we're buying separate left and right controllers. They're not going to box them separately. Here's your left one. Here's your right one. No, we're just fucked. We're just going to buy it. We're just going to buy whatever the fuck they tell us. Brian looks high on ketamine. I wish. I love ketamine. I haven't had it in like 20 years, but I love it. I think you got to be a billionaire before they let you do ketamine these days. We got Now's Ryan, the game feeling with a $5 tip. What up, Now's Ryan? Zombie Army, Firmament, Reach, Thief VR, Aces, still someday. The big games just keep coming. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Firmament's available to wishlist now in the PlayStation Store. So my guess, AJ, is that they past cert. I don't know if you. I'm assuming you can wishlist before you pass cert, but knowing that they were trying to get through certification, it seems like a weird time for them to just add the wishlist button. So it makes me feel like we should be getting a release date any second now.
I don't think there's any relation, but they can. They got the storefront done is what they did.
Yeah,
but we are expecting it soon though. Yeah, which I'm looking forward to. They also had Mist and Riven are part of the. Are they part of the Classics catalog or are they the free monthly games?
I think it's part of the Classics catalog. I think you can probably just buy them on PS1.
Yeah, I would like to revisit those.
Awesome Tatum says, I found out where Brian's prison tattoos are, but I'll let you guess where. Should I put up a poll, AJ, where my prison tattoos are located?
What's the thing I'm supposed to bring up? Creepy Brian.
Is that like creepy pasta?
We're all supposed to just leave you our biggest complaint, a comment of our biggest complaint on all of you. Because every time you post something, just instantly creepy Brian, really?
This must be
as usual,
an underground thing.
You don't get the jokes that we create together.
No one lets me on the inside jokes.
You don't get jokes, especially your own.
True that. Hey, AJ, Nihilus Ryan is excited for Zombie Army. And we've played Zombie Army. We're allowed to talk about the first 3 levels, World 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3. And so I think it's probably time to talk about some Zombie Army. What do you think?
It's okay.
Oh,
so far.
Hold on. Before anything else, I just want to point this thing out here. Hold on a second. Where is it? How do I get rid of this fucking thing? Here it is. So you can adjust the brightness and contrast on the fly. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
You didn't know that?
Wait, I'm showing them. I knew that. I'm showing them because they don't know that. What do you mean you don't know that? Yes, I'm showing them that you can adjust the brightness. It's in, dude, and it like changes
the game settings. Okay, there's a delay here. Okay.
It changes like the vibe of the game, man. It's like you can be all like, you just be like, oh, it's kind of bright and whatever. But then you can like pump up the contrast a little bit and make it like darker and grittier. It's very cool. And you actually, as you're sliding it back and forth, it changes in the world. I think every game should have this option, right? And that way you bump up the contrast, bump down the brightness a little bit, and then you really start taking advantage of those OLED panels with the blacks.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that. I thought you were.
You didn't know that?
No, I did. I thought you were talking about the stream video. Anyways, dude, right away, like so visually, man, it is clean. I mean, graphically, it is very clean. Is the best word to use here? I feel because it's a smooth 90 native frames per second, really high resolution, and like you're turning, and everything is like buttery smooth visually.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I noticed.
That will be the first thing I think everybody notices, that the resolution is great and the frame rate is great. The exception, I guess, being is that like when you hold weapons up in front of your face or like move your hand in front of your face, everything feels a little shaky for some reason. It's almost like the stuff in front of you is being reprojected, even though it's not. Just there's this weird shakiness, ghosting, that kind of stuff. But anyway, but yes, very clean looking, and it's just overall great. Looks like a really nice looking Quest 3 game. I don't think, if I remember correctly, none of the zombies have any shadows beneath them, right? But these are like probably the sacrifices you make when you're trying to get the game up and running at this resolution and this frame rate. So yeah, overall, it does look pretty nice in the headset.
I mean, considering the game's kind of, history, which we don't have any inside information, but we just have seen that, we know that XR Games was originally working on this and then it moved to a new developer to like finish it up. They definitely have seemed to have done a good job so far of like just making sure it works, that it's like as polished as it can be. Like visually, and it takes advantage of some of the PSVR2 features, which is nice. I do agree. It looks kind of like a Quest 3 game, and that's a trend I'm starting to see that I'm not really liking. before it was like the Quest 2 game. I know Quest 3 is a significant improvement over the Quest 2. So it's not like, bad or that bad or anything, but I just know that, you know, I can kind of, something just seems like off a little bit with games like this.
Wait, your
For
character
me,
had a shadow. Am I just not seeing this? I'm gonna have to pay attention because your character had an accurate shadow. I'm gonna have to pay attention when the zombies show up. Yeah, I could have sworn it didn't. Okay.
but it looks like they took a Quest 3 game, except on a Quest 3, sometimes games like they run really poorly. This is like a maxed out Quest 3 game where,
Yeah.
like I said, it's got the DFR, it's really smooth, 90 frames per second. Probably has some visual enhancements, I'd imagine, that and definitely has to run a lot smoother than, well, I don't know, because I haven't played the Quest 3 version, but I don't know. But yeah, it definitely looks and runs really smooth.
Old Darth in the
And
chat says, "Are the hands and guns blur, reprojection, or motion blur?" Though Brian, none of the above. It's just jank. There is no reprojection in this game. It runs at 90 native, and so it's the movement and everything's super smooth. There's just some jank when it comes to the stuff that's close to your face. That's all.
yeah, it's a little weird. But it's weird that the hands, like, they look like they're reprojected.
Right. So it's the best way to describe the jank that we're seeing. Is
As if it wasn't hard enough for me to see this shit already. Like, now you go and do this where
Right.
I don't even know. I don't know how anybody tells. Like, it is so hard for me to tell about reprojection, but yeah, no reprojection, 90 native. But yeah, this game is all about what it's supposed to do, which is shooting zombies. No, I'm sorry. The only thing better than shooting zombies is shooting Nazi zombies. And that's, of course, what the series is about. I've played a little bit of Zombie Army before, a little bit. And I will say, like, a lot of it from what I played was just running into room and shooting Nazi zombies. And from what I've played so far, this is really not that much different. There's nothing. It doesn't feel like this, super tailor-made VR game. It just kind of feels like it's a little bit more arcadey feeling, where you just run into the thing and shoot them or whatever, and you run into the next room and you shoot the Nazi zombies. That's kind of it. But the thing that kind of sets it apart a little bit so far is, man, do I love the X-ray kill cam so much. I love that. That was one of my favorite things in Sniper Elite. And I've played this both single player and multiplayer. And with you, I was actually having less fun because I didn't have my wonderful
Fuck you too.
just because of the X-ray kill cam. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, right. This gameplay that you're seeing here is me and AJ playing, which means you're not going to see any X-ray kill cam at all. AJ, I was surprised actually. One of my favorite ways to take down enemies in this game is with a sniper rifle. We get a good variety of weapons here that you're seeing. But I'd much rather be taking most of them down with a sniper rifle. And I feel like you don't get into too many situations where that's doable, right? Because they're swarming you, and you'll get locked into a room where they're just coming at you from all directions, and you can't be distracted by looking down a sniper scope. Because they're coming at you from all directions, and the second you stop running around and turning your head, then they're going to get you. And so as much as I love the kill cam, the X-ray kill cam, and as much as I love using the sniper rifle, although you don't get to actually look down the sniper scope, this whole screen turns black, and then it presents a sniper scope on the screen in 2D, which I don't love. I feel like we're on PlayStation fucking 5, dude. We're on PSVR2. You should be able to look down an actual sniper scope. We've done it in other games. For a game
Hitman
that's like so
it.
hyper focused on it would have been great. Yeah, Hitman does it. Yeah, it sucks because that's my preferred way of killing zombies in this game, and they don't let you do it all that much. They don't give you the opportunity to. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that because I like the sniper so much. Sniper scope.
The sniper rifle feels really good. In fact, all the gun like audio design is really nice. It's all this, of course, like World War II themed audio. And speaking of audio, the music. Oh my gosh, I have to mention the music here because I absolutely love the soundtrack. It's got this like slow, groovy funk like as you're going around like killing this. It almost reminded me a little bit of like House of the Dead Overkill. It's not that over the top, but
Yeah.
I remember that game had like some like funky music, and it for some reason like yeah, like it just fits so well with zombie shooting action. But um Spooky Yuki says, I love the arcade game. Feels of Zombie Army. It's all about the combos. Yes. And that is something that I noticed as well, is like it does seem like it's all about kind of like, yeah, it is very arcade structured, right? It's not like Saints and Sinners. It's it's not like Saints and Sinners. It's way different. It's not really survival. It's just pure arcade, like run and gun. Um, and there's this combo that you build up, and yeah, you do get like points. There's leaderboards, things like that, and that definitely seems to be the focus. It's more of an arcade style, closer to like the original Arizona Sunshine, I would say a little bit.
Yeah. I would say it's fun running around with a friend. Say it's and I think that although AJ doesn't like me very much and says that it's not fun to play with me, I think it's still going to be the more desired way to play this game because I'm going to be real honest with you guys here. I think Zombie Army is a little on the boring side. I think it gets really repetitive, really fast. I like the exploration element. I like that there's things you can find to discover new skins, discover new weapons, and even discover upgrade crates. Right, there's hidden upgrade crates that you can find in order so that between levels you can go back to your base and upgrade your weapons. Upgrade the rate of fire or the stability or the or the magazine that can hold more ammo, whatever, right? There's a lot of different things that you can upgrade on each weapon. I like that so much more than the actual game, right? And so having a friend to go in there and just kind of sirens on my end, kind of get through the monotony, goofing off together, hanging out. It's sort of the Ghostbusters VR effect, right? Everything's more fun with friends because especially if the game's not that great. This is about as average VR games get, right? I'm glad we started with the positive, how the game looks good and it's clean, and the audio's great. And dude, I will tell you, the adaptive trigger support here also great. The haptics are strong. Right? You're firing, it's like duk, 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 duk. You feel that shit in the controllers. Just the moment to moment gameplay is just so repetitive. And just the number of times you walk into a room and then they seal off all the doors and go, all right, kill all the zombies. You're like, oh, here we go again. It just becomes very wave shootery very quickly. And I know that's what a lot of games do, but I think most games that we revere at least, are able to hide that better, right? Hide it behind really, really fun gameplay. And I don't think Zombie Army hides it very well.
Well, I don't think it's really trying to either.
No, it's not.
Like,
problem.
but the thing is you and we're a little bit different in terms of like our taste. Like we like really creative, kind of deeper, fleshed out gameplay mechanics. This is just a very straightforward, like you said, you run into a room and you shoot the zombies, and then you run into the next room and you shoot the zombies. There's a little bit of like, it's telling you, feeding you lines as to like what's going on or whatever. But yeah, like I think some people would like that, especially some people that like want to like get with their friends and whatever. But yeah, for me personally, I mean, I'm kind of with you, man. Like I'm a little concerned that within the first, 3 levels or whatever, that I was kind of getting a little bit bored. Like there's promising things though. Like, so I have a lot of unanswered questions at this time. Because there's some things I'm like, okay, well, there could be more here. But at a first glance, like, yeah, like I'm like this seems like it should be really fun right away, and I'm like, why am I getting a little bored here? Like, so yeah, that's why I say like it's okay so far. I hope it gets a little bit different, mixes things up a little bit more. But yeah, it's very straightforward, and like I said, that's why people loved Arizona Sunshine. So maybe I think if you're like newer to VR or stuff, it would be like really awesome right away. But I'm concerned about, if it just kind of stays at what it's doing, and just does that over and over, then yeah, for those of us that have played other zombie games or had like, look for deeper experiences, like I'm worried that it's not gonna really like go anywhere. It's just gonna be this for the rest of it, and all about just getting that higher score or finding those, unlocking those little secrets or whatever, upgrading your weapons, kind of remains to be seen. But as far as like it being built, like on a technical level, like it works, it runs well, it looks good.
It works.
Like, and like,
5
well,
out of 10.
dude, considering it was originally developed by XR Games, like I can only imagine like what kind of state this game was probably in not too long ago. And like, kudos to them for getting it going and putting it together and making sure it works right and make sure it meets a certain level of quality. Cause I do think there is like some level of quality here right away, which is apparent right away.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's other things they do that are apparent right away too, that I'm really not a fan of. Like they give you all of these melee weapons, right? Here's a wrench and here's a big crowbar and here's whatever. And you don't throw. I mean, you can try to throw with your hand, but you really just hit the trigger and it creates a little arc in the air, and you just let go and it boom, gets thrown at the enemy. And so like this is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna run up to these zombies. I'm gonna hit them over the head. I'm gonna like smash their limbs with the crowbar, with the giant wrench, and that stuff feels terrible. Right? It's like the zombies don't react very well to it. It's so easy to once you're close to them, you just take damage. Right? They don't wait for the animation of this to happen from the zombie for your screen to turn red. Right? You just happen to be near them, and sometimes you'll take damage. It's like, oh, come on, man! At least wait for that to happen, And so I didn't like the melee stuff. For me, it was like really disappointing because they give you so much melee stuff right off the bat, and you're like, oh, this is going to be great when I run out of ammo. This is going to be a really fun way to take them down. And then it sucks. It's like not fun to do the melee stuff.
I actually don't mind the melee. I think it's fine. I know what you're talking about though. Like that hit me. That only happened to me once. It seems like it's happened to you a lot. But it's only happened to me once where like, yeah, they're like the animation is not matching up with when I got hit or whatever. Yeah. And it was weird, but that literally only happened once to me, so it hasn't become a problem really. I just
stay away from him now. Now it's like all about guns and whatever. I just make sure I'm far away. I thought getting close to them and using the melee weapons was going to be a lot of fun, and then immediately it was like, oh no, it's not, and so I stopped doing it. And so I don't. How often does this happen? I don't know. But I don't want to do it anymore.
I use the melee because I like the feeling of smashing them in the face with a wrench and their head goes flying. That's pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
The dismemberment in this is pretty good. Like I said, it may not be like some other games, but I like that you can like chop off their arms or whatever, their head, and like their pieces of their limbs and stuff, I think go flying around. It can be pretty silly fun, but I think this game, from what I've played, it seems like it is very true to the original series. The problem for me personally is like, I'm just not a big fan of the original series. It's just not really for me. It's not really my thing. But it seems pretty like, true to its roots and what it was, from my limited experience with it.
I don't even know what we're allowed to talk about. I know it's level 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. Does 1, 3 include the boss?
I don't know.
Yeah, the levels aren't even labeled the way they were in the embargo. All right, well then let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't think
so. So yeah, that's sort of where we're at right now with Zombie Army first impressions. It's a mixed bag. I don't think it's horrible. I think that if you go in with the right expectations and you got a friend that you can play with and you don't mind missing out on the X-ray kill cams, then you can have some fun in there. Oh, thank you. World of Long Plays. Two things. First, World of Long Plays mentioned another complaint that I have. I'm always pushing the wrong button to eject the magazine, right? Because it should be the bottom face button on the controller. But no, that brings up your pouch, your satchel for your 3 spaces of inventory. And so yeah, I'm constantly bringing up my satchel when I mean to eject the magazine. Good call on that, World of Long Plays. Then he says 1-3 is the boss. So let's talk about the boss. I'm glad there's a boss fight, AJ. I hope there's a boss fight at the end of.
You were jumping with joy when you saw. You're like, oh my god, it's a boss!
Yep.
I told you, I was like, man, you really do love boss fights, don't you? You were like, yes. You got so excited.
Dude, so it means Vertigo Games refuses to put bosses in their games. Like we're talking about a zombie shooter, with Arizona Sunshine 1 and 2. Like every single stage should be ending with a boss fight, or every couple stage should be ending with a boss fight, right? Really mix things up. And it's, it's too expensive. Can't do it, right? So the fact that we got to 1-3 and there was a boss fight, I was like, sweet, oh, thank fucking it. And then it just sort of ended up being a really disappointing boss fight. It was like, oh, kill all these waves of zombies, and then the boss that's standing above everyone that you can't even get to, you shoot him once, he takes his damage, and then the shield goes back up.
I didn't mind that. I thought that was a charming design. It reminded me. It just reminded me of like kind of. It had like a cool old school but cool feel, not like a this is horribly dated kind of way. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, but I was like, I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. And
Okay.
you're wrong.
Okay, that's fine. What'd you think of the ammo crates, AJ, that had an unlimited supply of ammo?
Oh my god. Okay, so if I have one thing about this game that I'm just like why is this like this? This has got to be the weirdest ammo restock mechanic thing that I've ever seen in my life. It makes zero sense to me. There's ammo crates pretty much everywhere, and you open them up and you grab all the ammo, and then you can close the crate, and then you can open it up again, and it's all back again.
Yeah, why not just have it always regenerate, I guess?
I'm like, listen, from what I've played so far, immersion is not really like the strength of this. It's an arcade Nazi zombie shooter, and that's what it's doing.
Yep.
Properly so far.
Yep.
I do not understand this the layout of the ammo crates and the replenishing the ammo, and like it's like you're constantly going and you grab them and then you open it and put it back down and open it again and you grab them. I'm like, why is this like this? Like, this doesn't make sense in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's not. Bitmappy says might as well just have infinite ammo, which you kind of do. Yes. Like that ammo crate is pretty much everywhere, right? There are ammo crates in every place where you would ever need ammo. There's an unlimited amount of ammo. So it's just about timing, right? It's about finding the 3 seconds it takes to go run up to it, close it, and then open it up again, have the resupplied ammo there, and then you grab as much as you can, and then whatever. It's like you said, it's kind of an arcade game. And so that's fine. And I do agree with everyone in the chat, by the way, who's saying that, crappy boss fights are better than no boss fights at all. I'm like, yeah, it does break up the action. I'm glad it's there. I'd always rather have a crappy boss fight than no boss fight. And if it keeps up the trend of having a boss fight at the end of each world, then cool. Maybe I'm in for some good boss fights. So we'll see. Yeah.
But yeah, so far I'm mixed on it. Again, it's not that it's terrible or bad or anything for me so far. I just not sure this is going to be a game for me. I'm not sure about that.
Virtual Reality Gamer says, how's it look visually? You mean the first 5 minutes of this conversation? I didn't see any Murrah. That's a good thing about games that are running at 90 native and at this resolution. They tend not to be too bad with Murrah. I didn't see any Murrah at all. So pretty good. Looks pretty good. AJ, it's probably time to move on.
Yeah.
We did promise people some. What's up?
So before we go too far with what we can say, but yeah, only first 3 levels, can talk about it this time, but we'll have a review when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, like the review embargo is very soon, so stay tuned. I gotta finish up the game and then.
Oh, also, it is somebody pointed this out in the chat, when we were kind of saying some of our critiques or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that is something to keep in mind, that it is, and that will play a factor in the final review, I bet. It is $26 with the discount
with Plus,
to pre-order or whatever with Plus. So it's not that expensive of a game. So that is something to keep in mind as well.
Yep. Definitely not that expensive, and it feels not that expensive. Virtual Reality Gamer says, sorry, I just joined. I know, but I still have to give you a hard time. Show up late, you're gonna miss shit. How dare you? Just kidding. All right, man, we promised some people we talk about Resident Evil 9. That got revealed. First of all,
Who did we promise?
It says it in the thumbnail.
So you promised yourself.
I mean, this is your show. I just do what you tell me to.
You didn't clear this by me. Okay, what did I tell you?
Oh, I see. It's only your show. It's only your show, and you want it to be your show. I get it. Taking no responsibility for anything, as always.
Just none of the bad stuff. I'll take all the credit for the good stuff.
This is the Resident Evil 9 reveal that happened during the Game Awards on Friday night. If you go watching GAMESCAST, then we're all like kind of shocked. We're like in the middle of GAMESCAST. Not even the middle, it's like the beginning of GAMESCAST. And the Resident Evil 9 trailer just fucking showed up out of nowhere. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Obviously no mention of VR. Otherwise that would have been plastered all over the channel. And you know, even with a blog post following it up, no mention of VR there either. First of all, AJ, what did you think of this revealed trailer before we even talk about the lack of a PSVR2 mention?
Oh my God, what an ultimate troll by Capcom that was brilliantly played to perfection, making us think that, oh, this is going to be Resident Evil 9 maybe? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? No. They'll show us when it's ready. And then boom, right at the end. Dude, I was watching this and I was like, at first, I was like, I'm not sure what this is, but this looks phenomenal. And then I think it was by the time they showed the RPD building destroyed, I was like, holy shit, this is Resident Evil. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I would actually want to play this. And dude, it was a huge surprise, and it looks freaking incredible.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love like just the post-apocalyptic setting. It seems like it's just going to be like Resident Evil on a much bigger scale than I think we've ever seen before. And that might be somebody out there might be going, well, of course, but that was not a guarantee. You know what I mean? It's like I think Village was kind of a step in that direction, I guess. Right? You know, it's like, oh, here's like kind of the open area of the village itself, and then you kind of go off onto different areas. But this seems like it's going to take that open area idea and go even further with it. Right? I mean, is anyone saying it's open world? No one's actually saying it's open world, right?
I think that's just part of the rumors or something, that it was open world or something, open area. Okay. I don't think that was ever actually said by Capcom, which is the important thing to note.
Yeah, very little has been said by Capcom, and unfortunately, that's what we're left with, right? We're left with rumors and speculation, and people who supposedly have knowledge about about what's happening internally at Capcom. But when you start seeing this stuff, man, when you start seeing this, like this it looks like Fallout, right? Or just like this massive world, and like, are we going to be able to really explore all of this and head into the city and head into the buildings? I have a lot of questions about what we're actually going to be able to do in this game. And I think the answers to those questions will help us find out, help us estimate, or help us decipher whether this is actually going to be a VR game or not. Because assuming it's running on the RE engine, as the last few games have, you would expect that anything you throw at the RE engine would be capable of running in VR. However, I'm almost certain that Dragon's Dogma 2 was running on the RE engine, and they were not able to. They were not able to get that frame rate to where I think most gamers wanted it on console, meaning it could have a very difficult time of being a VR game.
Dude, VR is the most power hungry. Like it requires so much horsepower for VR. It is basically twice as much as your highest end PC is what it needs to run like everything perfectly.
But that's where we kind of get away with shit on PSVR2, right? So not only can we run games reprojected, but on top of that, we can also We also get DFR, and so it really like frees up that processing power. Allows games that otherwise would not be able to run in VR to be able to be run in VR. Right? Think about
Absolutely.
Hitman. That's why that's why Hitman can run.
Ain't no way Hitman would run without reprojection, unless you stripped out everything.
If at most places, do you really want Resident Evil game to be open world? I want it to be explorable, big, but also not open. I have faith in Capcom to do something amazing. I want to play the game as always. I want to play the game that Capcom has designed for us. Right? I don't want to tell Capcom what to do because I feel like this is the return of the Resident Evil 7 director. Right? So this game's going to be fucking scary, I bet. I bet it's going to bring horror back to survival horror again. You know, whereas like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village were sort of on the not so scary side of things. Right? Resident Evil 7 was terrifying, and I want that. That's what I care most about. If it's open world, great. But I just want them to deliver something that they're passionate about, that they're excited about making. It has nothing to do with what I'm looking for.
I don't know if they'll ever make anything as scary as Resident Evil 7 was ever again. Like,
I mean,
I think they want. I don't think they would because they want to appeal to more people and let more people play it. That's why they made Village the way it is, and I think the director had said that they wanted to make it a little bit less scary because Resident Evil 7 is one of the scariest games of all time. One of the scariest things you could ever experience.
Yeah, but don't forget that like most people played it on the flat screen, right?
Yeah,
it's a lot more playable when you're not in the world. Like even if you're just playing it as like a first person shooter, like on a flat screen, and it's way scarier than most of the games have been recently, but like it's tolerable, right?
I mean, for a VR player, yeah, it's going to be less scary, but for flat screen gamers, that they get plenty immersed in that, and that's probably terrifying too.
Yeah. So is this coming to PSVR2? That's the big question, AJ. If you were to bet a pizza right now with the information that we have, do you think it's coming to PSVR2?
Eventually? Oh, why do you put me on the spot like this?
Because we're doing a show and we're trying to be entertaining. Be entertaining, goddammit. All right, so you think about it.
If I say my logic at all, would it ruin any of the chances of would it change anything if I say the logic?
Give me the logic.
I'm gonna say no, because whenever I say no, it does happen.
Perfect. Well done. Thank you for taking one for the team.
So no, not gonna happen. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay. All right. Listen, a bunch of reasons why you would think it might, and a bunch of reasons why you think it might not. Obviously, Resident Evil 7, 8, 4, the mainline entries have all come to PSVR, PSVR2. We did not get the remakes of 2 and 3. I believe that was all before PSVR2 came out. Am I right on that, AJ? 2 and 3 came out in the PS4 era before PSVR2 was here.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of the mainline games have come to VR, as long as it was timely to do so. And also Capcom, I don't know if you guys are going to be into this at all, but Capcom kind of likes VR. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. They have said over and over is that, they did Resident Evil 4. They added that VR mode for PSVR 2 after, just to try and help the VR growth.
Yeah, just under a year ago, on this Game Informer article is entitled "Capcom Keeps Bringing Resident Evil to VR. Here's How and Why." I mean, we could read through this entire article, man, but I think if we scroll down, it might give us what we're looking for here. The interviewees say they implemented all the elements they wanted for Resident Evil 4 VR. Once they wrapped up the project, they realized VR was well suited for the franchise. While they didn't discuss specifics, Kumazawa says they plan to undertake more challenges in the future. Moreover, Kumazawa adds that one of the reasons for releasing the VR versions of Village and 4 as free DLC is that the team wants to try and help expand the VR market. Yamakawa, personally speaking, joined the project as a director because of his enthusiasm for VR. So I mean, that's huge, man. That's huge. Like these are people who are passionate about VR and passionate about the paycheck that Sony gives them for making the VR mode. But we don't have to bring that up. Well, we do, but you know what? Honestly, we do have to bring that up. Because if we believe Dusk Golem, and I think we should always believe Dusk Golem because he's been one of the most reputable leakers when it comes to Silent Hill and Resident Evil for the last few years. Dusk Golem over on Twitter has been saying that the marketing deal between Sony and Capcom is over. And so which is why this did not get revealed in the State of Play. That happened mere days before Summer Game Fest. The reason this debuted in Summer Game Fest instead of a State of Play is because their marketing deal is over. And you would wonder if their marketing deal is part of that money that Sony throws at them in order to bring this into VR as a PSVR2 exclusive. And that's the most concerning part, because I really think they could make it happen regardless of anything else.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they've been on the record saying that they really like VR, and the director of Resident Evil 7 and Village was, they made a better VR game than the director of 4 did. Like that was still a great game in VR, but it was a better game.
Yeah.
Worse VR version versus the better VR version, worse game. But Village was incredible in VR. It was amazing. Perfect. Pretty much perfect and almost perfect. And yeah, this is the same director on that, right? So this guy is definitely passionate about VR, and either that could help him continue, and they say, look, we told you we're passionate about VR and we don't give up on it, and they continue to just fight through it and at it, and we sure as hell will play it. I mean, dude, there's I couldn't think of anything I'd want more at this point than this Resident Evil 9 game, just from how it looks and how amazing it would be. And also the best chance of me playing it is going to be in VR.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case for me too. I'll have to sit and patiently wait, and maybe we'll sit and patiently wait to be disappointed for all time.
Well,
However,
I wouldn't give up hope, and I would encourage people to continue showing that support that they have been because this is the lesson that we've learned is when stuff doesn't come to VR, it's because they don't think that there's enough people out there. And look, the truth is we have an uphill battle for this to happen. This is, but I think with enough people asking for it, if there shows that there's enough demand, that could that's going to do nothing but help the chances. It's definitely not going to hurt the chances.
Yeah. Alhambra D says, I don't know because Pragmata was in the State of Play. It's a Resident Evil marketing deal, as far as we've been told, at least. It does not mean they're not going to work with Capcom ever again. It was great to see Pragmata, by the way. First time in years. Looks great. A lot of people in the chat saying they will not be playing Resident Evil 9 if it's not in VR. Yeah, unfortunately. Could be a thing. But it does look great, and I'm very, very happy to see the reveal because we've been basically waiting for this reveal for a really long time. The rumor for this reveal has been, at least, I don't know, 8 or 9 months now. I've been hearing, it's about to be revealed, about to be revealed, about to be revealed. That's going to be right eventually. It finally was. AJ Dan Kiefer with the $5 says, hey, cats. Try Encircled. It's only like $2 on Plus. I can now surround myself with badass capybaras. Sorry, I can't speak. I can now surround myself with badass capybaras in VR. It has a big panda too.
What?
Nice.
You can do that in what's the game called?
Encircled.
Encircled?
Yeah.
Isn't that a tower defense game?
I think so. This was one of those
told
games.
Me the tower defense was capybaras.
This was
an important note. Sorry.
This was one of the developers who said that their game has sold way more on PSVR2 than any other platform. And I was like, well, that had nothing to do with us because I haven't even played that game. I didn't make a Brian by it. I didn't review it. Didn't talk about it on GAMESCAST. So I'm glad that the game is succeeding despite me not even fucking knowing what it is, basically. AJ, we got to wrap this thing up. You ready to play some 4-minute challenge?
I'm ready, Brian. Are you? Is the question.
Never. All right, you guys. AJ has it out for me. He thinks that I'm intentionally making my picks for the 4-minute challenge difficult. So you know that I'm going to need all the help I can get. Share your support for me and against AJ. This is
one
where
of your crazy conspiracies. How dare you?
It's where it's time to take sides. Okay, the without parole civil war is going down right now. We're breaking up. Breaking up is hard to do.
The South will rise again, Brian.
So choose, but choose wisely. What else can I throw out there?
I say that because I'm in Atlanta and he's in Boston. You know, nothing else beyond that.
No, nothing else. You don't want to talk politics today, AJ?
No politics, please.
All right, perfect. Neither do I, or ever again. Christ. All right, guys, help me out. Remember, suggest good questions I should ask, and then suggest good games that it might be based on the answers we get. We only have 4 minutes, but an infinite number of yes or no questions. What are you laughing at?
Ace Gamer says, "Don't break the losing streak, AJ." Oh my goodness!
On your mark, get Dez. Go. Is it on PSVR2?
Nope.
I knew it. Is it on other platforms other than PSVR1?
No.
Ooh, PSVR1 exclusive. Holy moly. Can you play it on the flat screen?
No.
Did the game get mentioned today?
No. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't think so. It might have been mentioned in passing.
All right. Multiplayer? Wait, passing?
No.
Come on. Okay. Single player, PSVR1 only. Was it made by any Sony first party studio?
I don't know.
What come fucking on? This is bullshit.
I don't. How am I supposed to know if they're a first party studio? I don't think so.
Because you've only been doing this with me for fucking half a decade.
Okay, if I had to guess, I would say no. But I would just move on from that.
Oh my God.
I would say no. It's not a first party studio. No, it's not a first party studio.
Okay,
not a first party.
Can't be Apex Construct. It came out on everything. Remember, guys. Is it a collection of minigames?
No.
Okay. So tired right now. It can't be Neptune Flux. That actually came out on other platforms. It can't be a Firesprite game. Persistence came out on Steam. Is it first person?
Yes.
Are there any third person elements?
Fuck. No. There's maybe some tiny third person elements here or there, but mostly no.
Developed by Endreams?
No.
Okay. Is it developed by Servios?
No.
Are there puzzles?
No.
Is there shooting?
No.
Is it a walking sim?
No.
Is it good?
Yes.
Oh. No shooting. Is it made by Supermassive? Good one, Looper.
No.
Does it use the aim?
No.
I guess with no shooting, that makes sense. Does it use DualShock 4?
No.
Okay, so moves. Is it a rhythm game?
Why does it say DualShock 4? Maybe it does.
Okay.
No, it's not a rhythm game.
Is there melee combat?
It says it uses no.
Stealth.
It says it uses DualShock 4 vibration. I don't know. No.
Stealth. Okay. Is it ooh, I like that one, Looper. Is it open world?
No.
It's not Golem. Fuck. Is it sports? Is it like a sports game type?
Yes. Been waiting for you to say that. I've seen everybody mentioning that.
Okay. Well, it's not Spark. That was on other platforms. It's not. Fuck, man. What sports games did we have? Come on, guys, help me out. Oh my God, I can't think of any sports game. It's not. There's no shooting in it. Is it a launch game?
Shooting game have sports? No.
Okay, so it's not Headmaster. Is it? But it's not multiplayer.
No.
So what kind of sports could it be? It can't be rigs. It can't be the rollerblade game. It can't be Sprint Vector. It can't be. Is it a ping pong game?
No.
Is it a tennis game?
No.
Is it a ping pong game?
No. Again.
Is it home run derby?
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The streak continues.
All right.
Released May 21st, 2019. Published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, but developed by Clap Hands, Brian. It went sports, and you completely crumbled. It is Everybody's Golf VR, which was kind of mentioned technically earlier today, but not really. How did you not get this?
Because it's a first-party studio game.
Wait, what?
It's a first-party game. Right, everybody's golf / Hot Shots Golf is owned by Sony.
But did you say studio or game?
I says first party,
and I said I don't know. And I tried.
All right,
is that really what threw you off of Everybody's Golf? Was that
question? because there are 7 total first party games. During the PSVR1 era, and this was one of them.
Well, I didn't know. And did you say game or studio? Because it's a second party? Isn't that technically second party where Sony owns the IP, but they have a thing develop it? That's not a first party.
Clap hands for this would be a second party studio, right? Just like how they own Farpoint and Impulse Gear. They don't own Impulse Gear, but yep. But yes, but I said, is it first party? Yeah,
but it's second party.
It's
right.
Everybody's Golf is a first party title. The developers would be considered second party. It's all good.
So that's confusing as fuck.
Yeah, it is. That's why it's so hard to have these conversations sometimes. But yeah, it's good to know.
Well, at least we keep the streak alive.
This was a great game. I thought this was beautiful. I thought this was the haptics in the move controllers. Yes, it does, by the way, support DualShock 4.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, in the move controller specifically, it felt really good. This was the perfect game for PSVR1, and the only thing it was missing was multiplayer support, and that's why I would have loved for Clap Hands' Ultimate Swing Golf from Quest to come over. And instead, we seem to be getting Everybody's Golf on the flat screen.
Yeah, we got to make some noise about this because it's like, holy shit. Like, why has every demographic failed to, or why have they failed to bring us a golf game? Like, everybody that plays games here is a little bit older. It's like we are like 90% of the demographic would play a golf game in VR on PSVR2. Cerebral Frost says first party IP is a non-Sony developer is working on it. So it's a second party title.
It is. Okay. AJ gets a pass.
That was a tough one. Should we introduce like a skip button here? If we don't know, that way we don't make it more confusing.
I think when a question like this comes up, it's got to be, we do say yes or no. Like the idea here is to answer with yes or no, but very frequently we have to go above and beyond that in order to. The number of times I've said something and been like, I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to send you down the wrong path. So here's a little bit more of a detailed explanation as to my answer. So. Because the second we say it's not first party, that means you eliminate Farpoint and Astrobot and Everybody's Golf and Blood and Truth and whatever. Whether you should or shouldn't, I think it sends you down the wrong path. But yes, it does sound like my question was answered correctly. So I'm not giving you a hard time about this.
Okay.
Yep.
That was a tricky one though. That was a dangerous one.
Yep. Also, come on, where the fuck is Ultimate Swing Golf? I want that shit.
Yeah. What do we got to do?
I don't even need the new Everybody's Golf VR game. Sorry, the new Everybody's Golf game to be in VR. I don't need that. I don't. Fuck that. I think Clap Hands knows how to make an awesome golf game, and they made a built from the ground up awesome golf game on Quest. Bring that over. That's all. I'm asking so little. Oh well. What can you do? Ultimate Swing Golf. This is the game if anybody doesn't know. It looks just like Everybody's Golf.
Is it supposed to be any good?
Yes. It's very good.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Multiplayer.
We need to pick
it.
Okay. This is something that. Oh shit! No. Okay. We need to figure out a golf developer that we can bug to death and ask for. We can only do this if we work together, and so we need to pick a golf game and see which one has the best chance and the best game that actually has a chance of coming to us, and we need to ascend, and try and court them.
This would be my pick over like a golf sim, like Golf Plus. I think is trying to be a golf sim. I would say this would be my pick.
The Quest one or this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, because it's the fully fleshed out version of Everybody's Golf from PSVR 1, right? This
okay,
like
right,
courses and multiplayer and everything we're looking for, and you know
that's all we need.
And Everybody's Golf has always been, or Clap Hands has always known how to make their games feel kind of sim-like, but also very, very fun, right? It's like the perfect combination of arcade and sim. So this is the one I want.
I just really want a good fishing game and a good golf game.
Yeah, Golf 5. That's right. Golf 5 is supposed to be coming to PSVR 2. So that's good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff. All right, you guys. It is time for us to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this beautiful, beautiful, overcast, rainy Monday. I don't even know.
It is for
overcast.
Me too.
Excellent. You guys are all awesome. We love you so very much. So thank you, everybody that's here to support the channel, whether it be financially or just by hanging out. We don't care. You're awesome no matter what. And of course, everybody sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. We love you just as much. Oh crap! It's Monday.
Kill the motherfucking cat, right? Because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to all dark. Says bye bye. Bit Mappy later, cats. Thanks, Brian. AJ, and have a great week. You as well, my friend. Awesome Tatum. Thank you so much. It's overcast and rainy is beautiful. Hey. Hey. Cerebral Frost, thank you so much for coming and kicking in the chat. Ace Gamer Cat says Game Cats for life. Mark Hill, the legendary Platinum Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house says it's hot AF over here. What the F you talking about, man? He's burning up. Somebody give him some dentine ice.
What?
Dentine ice.
What?
The gum that don't you like eat that gum and it makes you blow like snowflakes? Anyways.
I'll blow some snowflakes. Send them my way, AJ. I'll leave the door unlocked.
You know who else will blow some snowflakes? Bambino Ramos, thank you so much, man. You have a great night as well. Appreciate you, homie. Guy son, fist bump to you. Silver Nexus in the house tonight. Vargle Soft. Grandpa Barbecue, the Game Cat. Thank you. Milkaya, the Soul Raving Game Cat. Raziel. Colin Loves. Times to smoke some aliens. Oh man, I was just anyways. Tom, thank you so much. I still want to play on you like a drum, like a tom drum. The Feder PSVR old school Game Cat in the house says we out. Virtual strangers in the house. What up, homie? J Mine, the Metal Game Panther. Rock on, Game Cats. Patty Cakes, the Underground Stranger Game Cat. Thank you, Patty Cakes. Love you too. Says bye. Scott the PSVR Game Cat for life. Thank you. Nat Attack Gaming says toodles. Twitch of the single player Game Cat. Love you too. Bye. Hippie Pickle says off to Download Festival. Oh damn, you have fun. Download Festival seems like such a great time. Distracted says Forever Bowl is serviceable to be honest. Chrome to the Dome Colossus. Nihilus Ryan, my metal feline friends. Says see you all on Hump Day. Oh, so many of you. 8-Bit Mo's plays. Love all of you. Y'all have a wonderful night. And we will see you again very soon.